Hi, Jeff Schill from Johannesburg. I must say this, I've got slightly different experiences because this wasn't a trip that I relished. My wife had been on this similar trip with you 18 years ago, and she told me a lot of the facts which I just needed to confirm. So almost with ambivalent feelings I came because I didn't want to come and see killing fields. I'm a student of geopolitics, and I read a lot of books on history, and I've studied a lot of books on the Holocaust, been there, done that. So I'd read it ad nauseum, and it really had taken the kishkas out of me. So I wasn't relishing it, seeing killing fields. But Richard's a dear friend of mine, and we've been friends since school, since childhood. And at the same time, Hugh Reichland's a dear friend of mine as well. When I was right at the beginning when Hugh put this trip together, so I said, Hugh, I'm definitely going to come. But then I heard about that David was doing a Scottish whiskey tour, and I said maybe I'd rather go on the Scottish whiskey tour, you know. But maybe seeing these guys do it so slickly, maybe you will come on the next Scottish tour. So please God, we'll do that as well. I mean, I think the way you've organised the trip's been, I'm not saying it in any derogatory way, but you're a slick team, and I mean it from the heart. You guys are good. You do it so well. It's run so well, and that applies to Ulick as well. I've really been impressed with the way you've organised it. And as for all the members of the tour, it's really a nice group. Sometimes you go, and I'm a bit reticent sometimes until I meet the people, but I really found them to be people who have really grown a lot. From my point of view, it's unfinished business. I still have a lot to do. My wife got me the yahrzeit dates of my grandparents, and I think with me I'm possibly one generation closer because my father actually came from Lithuania. He came to South Africa when he was 18, and I went to his village with Richard. And then we found the actual forest where my grandparents were murdered. And when I spoke to my wife about it, she said, why didn't you get the address where your father was? Why didn't you go to the house? Why didn't you do that? And that's why I say it's unfinished business. I am going to come back. I want to research it. And for me, one of the highlights was listening to Ephraim Zurov and David Katz. And we spoke at length to David afterwards. Some of us had the script to go and speak to him afterwards, and he said, what you have to do, and I'm just mentioning it to all of you, but it might help you, he said, you have to get yourself an archivist, because maybe the next step I'm going to find out the address where the house was. When I went to the village, I couldn't find it, and next time, maybe I'll do that. Just on a lighter note, visiting all these yeshivas and that, if it hadn't been for you and the way he enriched it, I mean, to go and stand to some empty building when I thought about it before didn't mean a lot to me. But so we went to Slonim, or we went to Baranovic, or we went to Mir. If we hadn't had all these, the feed, I call it the earlier feed, it wouldn't have meant a lot. If some unknown guy took me and said, this is Slonim, or this is Baranovic, and this is what happened here, you wouldn't have had that feeling. And just to end on a lighter note, I did go to Novardok Yeshiva in Jerusalem a couple of years ago, and I said, what place is this? And everybody said to me, no, there was a Novardok Yeshiva, and they've got this place in Jerusalem. I'm sure some of you guys might have been there. And they said, no, it was a place where you had to be so humble, and they really knew humility, and they can. I did mention it to some guys on the bus today, and they said, you know, people would go, the Talmidim of the Bochers of Novardok would say they would dress very badly and not fancy, and they'd say, ich bin a Gornish, and I've been a nothing, and I am nothing. And so one of the new Talmidim pitched up to Novardok, and he'd been there a day, and he walked around to all the other guys who'd been there for a few more years and said, ich bin a Gornish, I've been a nothing. And the other Talmidim been there for years said, what a chutzpah, he's been here for 2 years and he's telling everybody you've been a Gornish. Thank you.